the essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Are you feeling fatigued and can barely make it through the day without some type of caffeine?
Are you on a journey of healing your body but need a little help?
Then alkaline water is what you really need.
Alkaline water has many benefits. Alkaline water can help restore pH balance in the body. Consuming beverages such as soda and coffee can make your body acidic.
Did you know that too much acid in your body has been linked to an anemia, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disease, chronic
levels, clearer skin, reduction in inflammation, better digestion, and many other health benefits. I've used alkaline water for years, and it's been instrumental in sustaining my health when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. Are you ready?
To 2 p.m. every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street here in Chicago, Illinois, and also live on Facebook. If you would like more information, you can reach us at www.facebook.com/termination2 or give us a call at 773-952-8302. Now I am going to recite our opening. In the name of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent, the one who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, and the one who made time the seed of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aten, among the Hebrews as Ansar, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims and Islamic world as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah Rastafari, among the Yoruba tribes of West Africa as Odumare, Eshu, and many other Orisha names. I bear witness that all these names refer to the same one, Almighty Spirit, and it is to that of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade are the Lost 13 tribe, born in North America and are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flows through our veins. I greet you in the ancient but holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Now I'm going to recite the 13 points of what we believe and know. Number 1. We believe and know that we are not to repeat the mistakes of the past prophets and messengers, of the Almighty Creator of the heavens and earth. Number 2, we believe and know that we can only establish an economic base through the application of the knowledge of self and the incorporation of the ideologies of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mahatma Gandhi, and Ben Amin. Number 3, we believe and know that the prophets and messengers of the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, and the Kemetic Holy Books were all black. Number 4, we believe and know that Jesus Christ of 2,000 years was and is a black man. Number 5, we believe and know that the knowledge of the Almighty Creator goes beyond books written by the prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator. To promote and coordinate, we must first recognize and accept the uniqueness of being able to worship our Creator, regardless of religious denomination, name, title, ritual, particular dress, or holy book, as long as it recognizes the Almighty Creator of the heavens, earth, and the universe as supreme. Number 7, we believe and know that it is impossible to tell the truth without exposing the wicked governments of the world. Number 8, we believe and know that the United States government, in collaboration with other European nations, have a now objective to exterminate dark-skinned people of color off the earth through the act of genocide. Number 9, we believe and know that some of the most effective methods that are being used today are AIDS, birth control, alcohol and drug abuse, vaccinations, gang and domestic violence, systematic elimination of trauma centers, the public school system, and the world. Number 10, we believe and know that the last trick that Satan is playing on us is the dividing of us by our religious differences, religious gangbanging. Number 11, we believe and know that the conflict between the various religions are comparable to the conflict between various street gangs within the inner cities of America. Number 12, we believe and know that the war on drugs and gangs is a diabolical plot to disarm the black community of weapons, break up the black family, withdraw our constitutional rights, also kill and incarcerate young black males under the undercover code name Able 2029. And number 13, we believe and know that every letter, shape, sound, and numerical value contains esoteric information that completely transcends the specific contextual meaning of the word. Our purpose: to bring about the growth of a righteous community in accordance with the laws of the Creator of the universe, under the leadership and guidance of Brother Minister Raheem Quassad Oxen, to provide solutions to the social and economic ills that plague the communities of urban America. Our goal: to re-educate and retrain youth and young adults to develop positive moral values as an alternative to delinquent behaviors, because you can rebuild a community and not rebuild the minds of the residents of the community to meet the responsibilities of maintaining the community's image. Our mission: to enhance the economic development of our communities by establishing businesses, real and personal properties, thereby creating jobs and/or entrepreneurship training programs that will reverse the concept of leaving the community to buying back the community. Our motto: let your light so shine before men that they shall see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Now we're going to recite our salute to the red, black, and green flag. Everyone put your right fist in the air and repeat after me. Here's to this flag of mine, the red, black, and green. Hopes in its future bright, Africa has seen. Here's to the red of it, great nations shall know of it. In time to come, red blood shall flow of it. Historians shall write of it, this flag of mine. Here's to the black of it, 400 million's back of it, whose destiny depends on it. The red, black, and green of it, oh flag of mine. Here's to the green of it. Young men and women shall dream of it. Face shots and shells for it. Maidens shall sing of it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it. Colors bright and whole of it. Pleased is my soul with it, regardless of what is told of it. Thanks to God for giving it this great flag of mine. Please keep your right fist raised high in the air as we sing our Black National Anthem. Black power, black power, black power. Black power is the power to define, develop, and defend that which is in the best interest.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. My name is Sister Ebony Stevenson, and I will be your lecturer for today. Welcome to the Toma Nation's weekly Sunday worship service. That's worship, W-A-R-S-H-I-P. Come and be fed by God's messengers. As a reminder, we are no longer at 616 East 71st Street in Chicago, Illinois. If you would like to join us each and every Sunday, feel free to shoot us a text at 773-846-3091. Once again, that's 773-846-3091. We will invite you to join us live via StreamYard, or you can always watch us at 12:30. Our intro starts at between 12:15 and 12:17 on Facebook Live and also YouTube Live. And you can also feel free to watch the recordings on those social media platforms as well. Okay, I am going to begin by reciting our opening. In the name of the everlasting Father, He that causes all that exists to exist, He that is self-existent, He who directs the sonships of millions and trillions of years, and He who made time the seed of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aten, among the Hebrews as Ansof, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims and Islamic world as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah, Rastafari, and among the Yoruba tribes of West Africa as Ishu, Olodumare, and many other Orisha names. I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one, Almighty God, and it is to Him whom we give reverence and to whom we submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those Black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the Lost 13 tribe, born here in North America, and are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the world flow through our veins. I greet you in the ancient yet holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habarakani, Alafia, and Ashe. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Welcome to the Terminations Sunday Worship Service. The title of my lecture today is called Continuing the Vision. Now, when I say continuing the vision, do you know what that means? Some of you know and some of you don't, but I'm going to share some things about two powerful Black men and the impact that they have had on the community. I'm going to begin us in a fun thing I like to call Sister Makita's Trivia. And today we're going to focus on Dr. Webb Evans and his relationship with Minister Rahim Cassette Aten, our founder. Our organization was founded by Minister Rahim Cassette Aten, co-founder Minister Amari Jahi Aten, and First Lady Sister Makita Aisha Aten. And so if you get all of these right, text us at 773-846-3091 because we should give you something for that. And not you can't be a member of the Temple of Mercy Association, aka Termination, and you can't be a member of the United Black American Progress Association. But if you get all 5 of these right, let us know because we got something for you. Okay, so the first trivia question that we're going to start off with is, what powerful economic message did Dr. Webb Evans preach for over 50 years? Is it spend Black, live Black? Is it give back to grow Black? Is it invest now, pay later? Or is it buy Black? I'm not going to answer it because I want those of you who are watching at home, if you know the answers, text us. Dr. Webb Evans and Minister Rahim Cassette Aten share a very special bond. What incredible coincidence connects them together? Is it that they are from the same hometown, that they have the same favorite color, that they share the same birthday, or that they both played the saxophone? Now, if you said they shared the same birthday, what day? Okay, number 3. What was Dr. Webb Evans affectionately known as in the community? Was it the economic prophet, the Black Dollar Warrior, the People's Chairman, or is it Mr. Buy Black? If you know the answer to these, text us at 773-846-3091. What musical gift made Minister Rahim Aten known throughout the Black community and the world? Is it drumming? Is it piano? Is it DJing? Or is it playing the saxophone? For extra credit, what is his stage name? I'm not going to tell you. Okay, last one. Dr. Webb Evans and Minister Rahim Aten's friendship represents what tradition that has existed in Black leadership, and we need to focus more on it so that we can help continue to grow our communities. Is it competition between elders and youth? Is it politics over purpose? Is it individual success over collective power? Or is it elder to younger generational friendship, spiritual unity? I know those were some interesting trivia questions. If you got all 5, text us, and if you got the extra credit, text us at 773-846-3091. So, when we talk about continuing the mission, we're talking about, when they both were born, their birth signaled the birth of a movement and the birth of a mission. And so before we talk about, Black economics, before we talk about circulating the dollar, before we talk about community power, Black liberation, before we talk about building Black banks, businesses, and building wealth, we must talk about destiny. We must talk about how The Creator himself intervenes in human affairs and raises up leaders at appointed times to deliver their people. Does it sound like someone you know or someone you've heard of? Let me repeat that. The Creator himself intervenes in human affairs and raises up leaders at appointed times to deliver their people. Wow. Does Moses ring a bell? Does Yeshua, aka Jesus, ring a bell? Does any other leaders ring a bell? What about Malcolm X? Do you think Dr. Martin Luther King is a part of that? What about the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey? What about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? What about Harriet Tubman? What other leaders can you think of that this would apply to? I'm gonna repeat it one more time. The Creator himself intervenes in human affairs and raises up leaders at appointed times to deliver their people. Because we know in our history, when I said I use the word coincidence lightly, but we know that there are no true coincidences, because in our struggle, nothing is random. And in our liberation, everything is divine. And the story of Dr. Webb Evans and Minister Raheem is a clear sign of divine orchestration that we were able to witness in real time. Two men born 44 years apart, born on the same day, November 20th. Now let's talk a little bit about the number 44. In numerology, number 44 is a master number, often called the master healer, the master manifester, or master builder. It carries an extremely powerful vibration because this is a double 4. So its energy is amplified. And so let's look at the breakdown of the number 44. So when you look at that master builder energy, the number 44 is associated with building long-term foundations, creating structures that last for generations, turning visions into reality, high-level discipline, strategy, and organization. It's the number of architects, leaders, empire builders, and legacy creators. People influenced by the number 44, life path, destiny, personal year, they have big missions in this lifetime. They have the ability to turn ideas into actual material success. They have very strong leadership energy, and they have a responsibility and an ability to uplift others. Not everybody can do that. At its core, the number 44 means that you were born to build something that outlives you. Did Dr. Webb Evans, who made his transition in 2015, build something that outlived him? Listen to that again. You were born to build something that outlives you. These two men were born to build something that outlived them. And if you're under that number 44, it could be a business, it could be a movement, it could be a community organization, it could be a legacy for your family. It could be your mission is to uplift others, because the number 44 is the number of legacy, generational transformation, and divine responsibility. Now, let's talk a little bit about Dr. Webb Evans. Dr. Webb Evans entered this world on November 20th, 1913. 1913. Sent as a warrior for economic liberation, a champion of buy black, buy black, buy black, buy black. Buy black when it isn't easy. Buy black when you have to do a little bit of work to find a Black business that has what you want. Buy Black when sometimes your own people don't make it easy to support them. But buy Black, buy Black, buy Black was his mission. He was a prophet for Black-owned business power and economic liberation. Now let's talk about Dr. Webb Evans was born November 20th, 1913. And then 44 years later, on November 20th, 1957, the Creator sent another warrior, Minister Rahim Kassed Aten, destined to continue and go beyond the very mission that Dr. Webb Evans would begin. Because Minister Rahim took on that mantle when Dr. Webb Evans passed the mantle over to him when he became president of the United Black American Progress Association. Now, even before that, Minister Rahim had been living his spiritual destiny, uplifting the community, teaching the word, bringing the word into the most unexpected places, bringing his ministry through music and the saxophone, uplifting people, saving lives, bringing, the healing through his health ministry, to him, speaking over people's lives. Like that has been his lifelong mission. And so the fact that these two men are under that number 44 is absolutely amazing. The same day, November 20th, the same month, right? With both had divine assignments. So tell me that God doesn't work. Tell me God isn't working, and tell me that their purposes were not written in heaven. Now, we talk about sometimes the ancestors, right? And many people have different definitions or how they see the ancestors, right? But think about it, when we think about all the things that we have gone through, all the things that we have gone through, pre-transatlantic slave trade, post-transatlantic slave trade, right? And so that's that divine mission that God will send a leader to his people so that his people will not be left leaderless. And we've had many leaders. We've had many, many leaders. When you talk about a leader like Yeshua and you talk about the Christ consciousness, we understand that Christ does not mean single, that Christ is plural, and that the Christ consciousness is a way of life. So this is not about chance that Minister Rahim and Dr. Webb Evans were both born on the same day. This is about continuation. This is about two men, right, who had destinies aligned before either of them took their first breath in their physical bodies. Now, when we talk about, passing the torch, we have so many organizations that the torch never gets passed, that the same person runs the same organization from the beginning to end, and then the organization dies off when that person makes their transition. Now, when you look at how Dr. Webb Evans, Mr. Buy Black, on this planet Earth for over a century, and how he fought, lived, and breathed his message and his destiny for the liberation of Black people. How he built an organization, how he marched for jobs, how he opened businesses and taught us that true freedom is not political, it's economic. Then, as he approached 100 years old, and he assigned Minister Rahim to take over the gavel, to take over the organization, right? To continue the mission that God gave him. Can you just imagine, like in his head, that they were close enough and their friendship was so dynamic that he decided that this man is who will help me carry this mission forward. And so on November 10th, 2012, He passed him the torch and the gavel. It wasn't because of convenience. It wasn't because of proximity. It wasn't because of age, but it was because of divine alignment. And today, we stand in the legacy of these two November 20th kings. We stand in the tradition of men who understood that if we do not buy from each other, we will never rise. If we do not support our own businesses, we will always depend on others to feed us, to clothe us, to house us, to teach our children. If the government shutdown didn't tell you anything, it should tell you that we need to move beyond government dependence, because this is how we get caught up. This is how we need to go to food pantries. This is how we worried about the stability of our housing. This is how we worried about the education system for our children. It's because we are so interdependent on the government, and they designed it to be that way, that we've got to come out. We've got to come out of her. We've got to come out of this world. We got to come out of this comfortability that we find ourselves in. And we need to build institutions, or we will always borrow someone else's. If we do not give to our own nonprofits, our own charities, then our communities will remain underserved. And if we do not circulate our dollar, we will remain on the economic bottom. The dollar is just a tool. The dollar is the lifeblood of the Black community. Think about you as a human being. If your blood didn't circulate, what would happen to you? If your blood stopped circulating now, what would happen? Think about that for a second. If the blood in your body just stopped circulating, what would happen? You would do what? You would die. So if the Black dollar, the lifeblood of the Black community, is not circulating, then what's happening to Black communities across the country? It doesn't matter if they're in the inner cities. It doesn't matter if they're in the country and rural areas. What's happening, and what's been happening to Black communities across the country because the Black dollar is not circulating? What is happening to Black businesses every day in this country because the Black dollar is not circulating and we are not supporting those businesses? Black businesses go out of business as soon as they go into business. And it's up to us to stop the cycle. We've got to stop going over and over and over and over and over again in this circle, this never ending circle. And somebody needs to break the cycle. And it starts with us. It starts with you at home. It starts with you at home and your families. How many Black businesses did you support this week? How many Black businesses did you support last week? How many Black businesses did you support last month? How many Black businesses did you support this year? And if you can't name at least, I'm gonna be easy on you. We gonna take it elementary. If you can't name at least 10 Black businesses that you have supported in this last year, then you should have a clear conversation with yourself. You can't preach this, oh, I love my people, I love Black people energy, when your dollars are not walking the talk that your mouth is talking. Does that make sense? Now, Dr. Webb Evans taught it. Minister Rahim lives it. And Yabampa strengthens it. And us at the Temple of Mercy Association, aka the Toma Nation, we amplify it. And more so now than ever, we must embody it. And so this is a call to action to show us that liberation is not accidental, especially dealing with economics. And this path is not optional. This path is not negotiable for us. When we sit here sometimes and we talk about, do you care about your people? And so there's a saying, charity begins at home. And when we say, do you care about your people? You don't even have to think about anybody outside of your house. Do you care about your children? Do you care about your parents? Do you care about your cousins, your aunts, uncles, your nieces and your nephews, your grandparents? If you live alone, do you care about yourself? And if the answer that you think is yes, did you answer yes to the question that I asked you? Have you supported at least 10 Black businesses this year? I took that pause for a reason because I want you to think about that. Because if you truly love your people, then you would support your people. You would spend that lifeblood, that dollar with your people. If you truly cared about your children, you would spend that lifeblood, that dollar with people who look like you. We are the only people who our children grow up and they got to go beg people who don't look like them to hire them. Does that make sense? Because it doesn't to me. Does it make sense to you? Every summer, we see so many youth have to beg other people to hire them for a summer job who don't look like them. And so, as we talk about these two men and these destinies and the work that they've done, we have to reiterate this in our mind because we know, when you talk about, affirmations, affirmations are not just something that you read to yourself. Affirmations are something that you say out loud, that you speak into existence. There is power in speaking those things into existence. I will support Black businesses. I will spend my money with Black businesses. I will spend my money with people who look like me. I will spend my money with Black businesses even when it's not easy, okay? Because continuing that vision, that mission, we got to buy Black. We got to bank Black. We got to build Black. We got to serve Black. We got to serve our people. We got to circulate the Black dollar. We got to love Black and we got to give Black. Because this isn't just a movement, it's a God-given mandate for us to support our own people. This is our mantle. And so today, repeat this with me. We reject the economic bottom. We reject it. We reject being on the economic bottom. We reject not supporting our own. We reject not loving on our people because we need to follow the mission of these two men. We got to rise together as one people, one mission, and one destiny. And so let's look at, the legacy of Dr. Webb Evans and the things that he has done in the community. But before we do that, it wouldn't be a Toma lecture if we didn't share some scriptures. Shout out to Minister Kenneth. And so when we talk about our economic struggle, it's not separate from our spiritual struggle. And so when we look at, these holy books, the standard King James version of the Holy Bible is what we use. And we use the Yusuf Ali version of the Holy Quran. So if you ever want to follow along with us when we're reading scriptures at home, or if you're looking at some of our previous lectures and you want to follow along and read the scriptures in these holy books, these are the versions that we use. Once again, that's the standard King James version of the Holy Bible and the Yusuf Ali version of the Holy Quran. And so I just want to share a couple of scriptures. Now, when we look at the Holy Bible and we look at Acts 4:32, and the multitude of them that believed were of one heart and of one soul and had all things common. Let me repeat that. And the multitude of them that believed were of a one heart and of one soul and had all things common. Look at all the amazing work that Dr. Webb Evans and Minister Raheem has done in our community. Look at the impact that they've had in our community. And the multitude of them that believed were of one heart and of one soul and had all things common. They both have walked that walk of this scripture right here. James 2:17. Even so, faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone. These two men embodied that they didn't just put out a prayer. They, as Dr. Webb Evans' sister, Sister Bernice, used to say all the time, you got to put some legs on that prayer. You got to put some legs on that prayer. You can't just pray and think and then think that's it. You got to put some legs on that prayer. You got to put that prayer into action. You got to walk out here like that prayer is true and it's in existence. Because sometimes we pray for things and we're just like, oh, we're just gonna pray. And some people are like, oh, I'm just gonna throw it out there in the atmosphere. There's a old parable, and there's many iterations of it, and it goes something like that. There was a man drowning on a boat, and he kept praying for God to save his life. He was drowning on a boat. His boat was capsizing. Little by little, water was getting into the boat. And so many people kept coming up to the boat, like in their boats, trying to save him. Like, hey, do you need help? He was like, nah, God gonna save me. Another person came, hey, do you need some help? No, he's like, nah, I'm good. God gonna save me. Then another person came. He kept saying, nah, I'm good. God gonna save me. Because in his mind, he was visualizing, I guess, a cloud, a big fluffy white cloud to open up. And then God is gonna descend down on the cloud into the boat and grab his hand and lift him up. But in all actuality, he died. Why did he die? Because he was waiting for something, for a miracle that was being presented to him multiple times. And all he had to do was put some legs on that prayer and accept that hand of the people who was trying to save him. Ain't that something? Okay, I'm going to continue sharing a couple of scriptures. Ooh, I didn't realize it's 1 o'clock. I'm gonna go a little bit over because that time went quick. I didn't even really get into my lecture. So here's another one. Psalm 133, verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in what? Unity. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Did these two men not represent that in their friendship, in their life, in their organizations, dwelling together in unity for the liberation of Black people? Like, how amazing is that? We always get so caught up sometimes talking about, what happened in the past, like our leaders who've made their transition. But how amazing it was for me, the current president of the United Black American Progress Association, to sit here, and under the number 44, I'm 44 years old this year, to sit here and say that I witnessed this real time. So many of us witnessed the friendship between Dr. Webb Evans and Minister Rahim in real time, of them working together way before Minister Rahim took over as president of the United Black American Progress Association, but working together. How many marches? How many community meetings? How many meetings they had with one another, working to help get our people off the economic bottom, to get our people to love on themselves, to see themselves in a different light, not in the way that other people see us and that the media portrays us, but as who we are really meant to be, God's chosen people. Like, how amazing it was for those of us who knew both of them to be able to witness that we can give a testimony that we witnessed that in real life. How amazing is that? And we have Minister Raheem Kassed Aden, the founder of Toma Nation, the Temple of Mercy Association, still out here doing the work, walking the talk, talking the talk, using his saxophone as his own music ministry. Like, how amazing is that, that we can witness, that we can see this, and we can be a part of it, that we can contribute to this. That is amazing. If you are liking what you are hearing, or if you would like more information about these two men, or how to join the Toma Nation, the Temple of Mercy Association, or the United Black American Progress Association, you can always shoot us a text at 773-846-3091. If you would like more information about our previous lectures or our upcoming events, shoot us a text at 773-846-3091. Now, I'm going to continue with a couple of scriptures. Minister Kenneth, I know you loving that. Shout out to Minister Kenneth. I keep shouting at him because he can pull a scripture out like right away. And let us go to 1 John 3:18. Let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. Excuse me. Let me repeat that. Let us not love in word, neither in tongue, talking, but in deed and in truth. How many people say they love Black people? How many people say they love us? How many people say they love their own people? Black people this, Black people that. They wear red, black, and green. You know, they come to the Juneteenth events. They're all out talking about, oh, I love my community. I love my community. I love my community. But how many of them, it's just words? Neither in tongue. It's just talking. They just run in their mouth. They yaktivists, as Minister Raheem would say. They just yak, and don't do nothing. But in deed and in truth, Minister Raheem and Dr. Webb Evans, they practice Black liberty, Black liberation, and unity. What? By doing the work. In deed and in truth, they did the work. Minister Raheem is still doing the work. How many people do you know are just yakking, and they're not doing the work? And so these scriptures point to a single truth, that God will bless people who support each other. God will bless people who support their people. And so I also want to share two scriptures from the Holy Quran, because I like duality. I like to do both. Now, if you've been following us a while, you've heard some of these scriptures before, but I just think that they go so well in this lecture. So we're going to look at Surah 2, Ayat 261. The likeness of those who spend their wealth in the way of Allah is as a grain producing 7 ears. Surah 49, Ayat 13. The most honored of you in the sight of Allah is he who is the most what? Righteous. Righteousness. And I gotta give you this one. Surah 57, Ayat 11. Who is he that will loan to Allah a beautiful loan? For Allah will do what? Allah will double it. Wow. I have some more scriptures, but I will save the rest of those for a part 2 of this lecture on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. If you would like part 2 of this lecture, drop us a comment if you're watching live on Facebook or YouTube, or if you're watching the replay, or shoot us a text at 773-846-3091. Now, when we look at the scriptures I just read, what message did you get from that? What unifying message, the unifying themes of those scriptures? To uplift yourself, you must uplift your people. If you're only focusing on uplifting your personal self and not uplifting your people, That's not God's way. To grow individually, you must grow communally. Are you just about growing yourself? Or are you about growing the community, growing in the community, growing with your people? And the last one, to honor God, the Creator, Allah, no matter what you call this entity, this divine entity, you must honor your community. To honor God, you must honor your community. You must honor your people. Oh, it's 1:09. I'm going to continue for a couple more minutes because I didn't even really get into the meat and potatoes of this. Or if you are a vegetarian, the tofu and potatoes, or beans and potatoes, whichever one. Now, let me just give a little bit of background about Dr. Webb Evans. Dr. Webb Evans, he was born on November 20th, 1913 in Greensboro, Alabama, during a time of harsh segregation, lynching, and economic deprivation for Black people. Can you imagine, with all of the things we've heard and read about life for Black people in the early 1900s in this country? He was born in 1913 in Alabama. And even with everything that was going on during that time, the Creator placed a fire in him that oppression could not extinguish. A fire, a mission that he lived until his very last breath. How many people do you know have done that? How many people do you know that dedicated their lives to our people? How many people do you know that went out of their way, whose servant's heart was so amazing that it didn't matter if it was raining, it didn't matter if it was snow, it didn't matter if it was below zero. If there was something Dr. Webb Evans had to do in the community, he was out there. Even when he was 100 years old, he was still out there going to meetings and supporting Black businesses. Even when he had already been on this earth over 9 decades, he was still marching. He was still marching in the community. And when I say he was marching, I will tell you as a 44-year-old woman that he outmarched me at plenty of parades that I went to. I'm in the back. I'm in the back, just going along. And Dr. Webb Evans all the way in the front, shaking the people's hand, holding the sign. Because he stood on business. He lived his mission. He lived that life every single day. And isn't that amazing that we can say that that's for those of us who knew him, that we can say that we witnessed it? Isn't that amazing for those of you who didn't know Dr. Webb and you're hearing about his life for the first time, if you've heard a little bit about him before, that you can say that this happened right here in Chicago, Illinois, in the United States of America, okay? That we were able to see that vision, that mission, and that dedication, that unwavering dedication that he had to his people. Now, when he founded the United American Progress Association, which later became the United Black American Progress Association in 1961, think about it. This was years before the Civil Rights Act, during the height of Jim Crow. And he saw clearly that protesting alone would not save us. And if you think right now in 2025 that protesting alone is the solution to our liberation, you are not living in reality. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings or burst your bubble, but protesting alone was never the only thing that could save us. It was protesting is a tool in the toolbox. Like, you in construction, you a plumber, you an electrician, you got a toolbox. You could be a baker pots, pans, and that's your toolbox, that's your toolkit. Protesting was just a tactic in the toolkit for our liberation, but it wasn't the only thing. And some of us get caught up thinking that, oh, protesting this and protesting that is going to get us the gains and the wins that we want, the wins that we need. And that's not true. It's not real. And so if you're thinking, if that's your only strategy, then you're not going to be successful. And many other people who don't look like us have adopted the same strategy. It is what it is. Everybody want to bite off us. Now, when you look at, when he said, which was so amazing, which we should put on a t-shirt. Minister Joshua, you listen, we should put this on a t-shirt. The greatest march will be the march of our dollars. How crazy is that? The greatest march will be the march of our dollars. Now, this man survived early 1900s South, came to Chicago. He survived, wow, Jim Crow. He marched with Martin Luther King and other civil rights leaders. He saw firsthand the hate this country had on Black people. And even participating in those marches, he still said, the greatest march will be the march of our what? Our dollars, the lifeblood of the Black community, the tool for Black liberation. And while we are marching and begging for access to jobs, for programs to feed our community, for programs to help support our people, Dr. Webb Evans was marching to teach us that we must create our own jobs, that we must support our own Black businesses. And under his leadership, early United American Progress Association worked to expand Black banking in Chicago, helped support the founding of Seaway Bank, launched campaigns encouraging people to move their money from downtown banks and into local Black-owned institutions, Black credit unions, Black banks. They organized shop-ins where they would go to business, Black-owned business after Black-owned business, and spend their money in that business. They organized clean-ins where they would go to Black cleaners en masse and spend their money and support those Black-owned cleaners. They organized eat-ins where they would support Black-owned grocery stores, Black-owned restaurants. They also supported Black-owned exterminators, Black-owned retail shops and stores. They supported Black farmers on the Father McKnight. They encouraged the purchase of Black-made products like Fuller Products, Parker House Sausage, Baldwin Ice Cream, Elsa Nail Brooms, grocery co-ops, and local distributors. Dr. Evans understood economic circulation long before Buy Black became a hashtag, right? Before it became trending on social media. Dr. Webb Evans lived that life. He said, we are the only people who let strangers control our community. We must change this condition. Once again, we are the only people who let strangers control our community. We must change this condition. Ooh, it's 1:17. I feel like I haven't really even got to the TT of my lecture. Well, how about I'll do this? I'll go for about 5 more minutes, and then I will save the rest for my lecture on Wednesday. If you would like a part 2 of this lecture, shoot us a comment if you're watching live on Facebook or YouTube, or if you're watching the replay, or you can always shoot us a text at 773-846-3091. Now, when we talk about, all of this Black love and Black liberation and, this divine friendship that Dr. Webb Evans and Minister Raheem had. Now, when Dr. Webb Evans passed the torch to Minister Raheem. It was on November 10th, 2012, at the 51st anniversary banquet of the United American Progress Association. Now, Dr. Webb Evans, now think about it. He was almost 100 years old at that time. And he did something historic. He could have did what other people do. He could have just been like, I'm going to run this organization till I make my transition, and had no, path for succession. And then the organization just folded after he made his transition. How many organizations do you know that have done that? How many religious institutions do you know that have done that? That because there was no path for succession for somebody to take over after that person retired or that person made that transition, that religious institution or that business or that organization, it ceased to exist. It's that intellectual capital, that divine inspiration that was given to them to create those businesses, those religious institutions, those organizations. It ceased to exist when that person ceased to exist in this flesh. But Dr. Webb Evans was different. He passed the torch and gavel to Minister Raheem. And he said, this is the man who will carry the mission forward. And this torch passing was not symbolic. It was strategic. It ensured that the mission, that the message and the momentum would not leave when Dr. Webb Evans left this fleshly body. Now, Dr. Webb Evans made his transition on February 23rd, 2015, during Black History Month, after having not ever missed not one single Fourth Monday meeting. And that was true to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's words, where he said, you can die when you get ready. And Dr. Webb Evans completed that mission, and then he returned home. Now, in my lecture on Wednesday, I will continue this conversation about the legacy of Dr. Webb Evans. I will continue this conversation about the United Black American Progress Association and the work that we've done and the vision we have for moving forward into 2026. And I will share some more scriptures that reflect this unity, this mission, and this vision that these two men, born on the same day, and by the grace of the Creator, who were in each other's paths and were able to have an amazing friendship. And Dr. Webb Evans was able to pass the torch to somebody that he trusted, which later Minister Raheem passed the torch to me. And that's how I became the current president, the first female president of the United Black American Progress Association. Thank you so much for joining us for our weekly Sunday worship service. If you would like more information about this lecture or any of our previous lectures, please feel free to shoot us a text at 773-846-3091 or drop us a comment if you're watching live or watching the replay on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us, and we want to see you next Sunday. And once again, if you would like to join us next Sunday, we're virtual. We can send you a link so you can join us on StreamYard, or feel free to drop us a comment if you're going to watch us live on YouTube or Facebook. Please share this video with your family and friends, and we really got to discuss as we move into 2026, and the government has truly showed us what it feels about us, how we are going to chart a path to liberation moving forward. Thank you so much for joining us, Black family. Black Power. For joining us for our weekly Sunday worship service. We invite you and your family to join us live. Feel free to support us with a monetary gift, ION. Once again, this will conclude our live stream. The message you have been listening to will continue live here at the Toma headquarters. We thank you.
Causes all that exists to exist. The one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power. Black power. Black power. Black power.